true or untrue that you were in the audience as a prisoner in San Quentin when Johnny Cash came through and played?
Oh, that was true. He didn't meet me, and I didn't meet him then. The day he was there was New Year's Day, 1958. He'd been over in San Francisco having a party the night before, and he'd sung or talked his voice completely off. I just barely talk. Well, I thought, this guy's in trouble. You know, there's 5,000 men here, and he can't talk, he can't sing. I was engrossed with wondering how he was going to pull this off. Well, first of all, country music was not like it is now. Country music was down your nose at that time compared to what it is now. And so the visit of Johnny Cash was not all that cool in the joint. Before he started his show, he asked for a glass of water, pointed one of the guards, and this guard was standing in the daylight of the doorway chewing gum. And Cash had when he asked for the water, of course he had the audience, everybody were looking at him, and he mocked that guard. Well, he won the whole audience.
Yeah, because the audience wouldn't dare to mock a guard.
No. When Cash left, there was guys all over that yard with guitars.
You were one of them?
Well, I was the teacher. I mean, they all knew that I played, and they must have been 20 guitar player or a kid that come up to me and said, "Can you show me how you did that intro on Folsom Prison Blues?" All of a sudden, we were more popular. We had more clout because we understood what that guy did.
My wife and I courted in the late 50s to the likes of Ring of Fire and Johnny Cash. Today, with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, could Johnny Cash still make it?
Oh, yeah, if he wanted to. As I think about him, as I learned about him, as I grew to be friends with him, I was pleasantly informed that he was very, very intelligent. He was not your average knife in the drawer. A lot of that stuff, it sounded like it might have just been something they stumbled onto. They figured it out. They knew what they were doing.
Pretty much as you know what you're doing.
Well, true, yeah.
By the way, you're on Facebook, Twitter, you do all that, do you?
Yeah. My son does it all for me. I don't know anything about it.
Well, what do you think about that? Has it changed the music business as a business?
Oh, sure. There's few people in the world that it's done as much for as it has me. I've already went to iTunes and cut a deal with them. They're going to pay me a lot more money than they pay Joe Blow to sell my records through them. I don't need a record company anymore for obvious reasons. I mean, it's because of the new electronic availability. I mean, there's no necessity for a record company.
Between age 9 and 20 or 21, you were in and out of well over a dozen institutions of one kind or another.
That'd be very conservative.
Haggard began running away when he was 10 years old, stowing away on a freight train to Fresno. His life increasingly became a cycle of juvenile delinquency. Here, 16-year-old Merle gets a visit from his family while staying at a detention center right outside of Los Angeles. But these stints were quickly followed by an escape. Fleeing custody became his specialty. He ran away at least 17 times. It was only after he'd landed in San Quentin and its 70-foot walls that Haggard stopped running. He was 19 years old by then, and it was his first time in the big house. But because of his escape record, the prison classified him as one of the most dangerous convicts.
With my reputation of escape, they wouldn't let me out of the cell after 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Because you'd escaped so many times previously.
Yeah. So for the first 18 months, maybe a little more, I wasn't able to participate in any of the functions that were available, such as music. But with the help of the people that were playing on what they called the Warden's show, they were able to get my classification changed after about 18 months or so there, and I was able to to play the Warden show. And it's quite a deal. You get I think we got 2 packs of Camels and a steak dinner, and they didn't have no steak dinners in San Quentin except that one.
How did it wind up leading to crime?
Well, when you go to jail for truancy, they don't separate you from the hardened criminals. And so there was some old boys in there that had some what sounded like successful possibilities in the area of crime, you know.
Kind of a crime school?
You bet. I started to idolize people that Bonnie and Clyde and John Dillinger. The possibility of having a career in music was way out of reason. I didn't think that was possible, so I took to studying the bad way. When I went to San Quentin, maybe for 18 months or so, I might have just really had a lot of fun there. I was playing music, and I had a job in the laundry, and the guy that was running the laundry didn't know whether we were there or not. We'd slip out onto the football field and play guitars. And I had quite a business going. I was selling beer and cigarettes, and had a loan company. And
inside prison?
Yeah. So I went to the parole board. Suddenly reality was slapped in my face. One of the guys in there leaned across the table and said, "Looks like you're having a real good time here." And I hadn't really thought about it that way, you know. And he said, "Talk to you later."
Well, I'm going to end by asking you a music question. Would you agree or disagree that probably the song you get the most credit for being the deepest and the best song you ever wrote was "Sing Me Back Home"? And the line within it, the warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom.
And I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest. "Sing Me Back Home" is one of my best songs, there's no doubt about it. I think that even people that have never been to jail know somebody that's been to jail, and they have an imagination of what it might be like. Someone can arrest you for something you didn't do, and you go to prison. If you weren't Dan Rather, you wouldn't get out. There's people in all over this nation doing time that didn't do anything. I think that would be a terrible thing.
The song resonates partly because people say, you know, Merle Haggard has been there. He's been in prison. And this is a song that comes from his experience, comes from deep within him, and the resonance is there. Can't take any more of your time again, my friend. I'm indebted to you for taking so much time.
Dan.